Have you ever walked down a dark road at night and felt a chill run down your spine, like something was watching you? In ancient Greece, travelers had a very specific name for that fear, Empusa. They believed that in the dead of night, one creature roamed the crossroads, a being who could transform into anything you desire, or anything you dread. This is the story of Empusa, the shape-shifting guardian of the night. In the rich tapestry of Greek mythology, Empusa was a mysterious figure, a servant to the powerful goddess Hecate. Hecate was the mistress of magic, witchcraft, and the crossroads, those eerie places where paths diverge and destinies are decided. And it was here, in the liminal space between worlds, that Empusa carried out her duties. She wasn't just some mindless monster, she was a gatekeeper, a tester of souls. Empusa's most terrifying ability was her power to change her shape at will. To one traveler, she might appear as a breathtakingly beautiful woman, her voice a sweet melody that promised comfort and companionship on a lonely road. To another, she could be a fleeting shadow, a whisper of dread that clings to the edges of your vision. And in her most famous form, she was a bizarre, nightmarish creature, a woman with one leg made of gleaming bronze and the other a leg of donkey, or sometimes a leg of pure, flickering fire. Imagine encountering that in the pale moonlight. It's no wonder most people who saw her screamed and ran for their lives, convinced they had come face to face with a bloodthirsty demon. But the stories of Empusa aren't just simple horror tales. She was more than just a creature of fear. Think of her as a living, breathing mirror. The form she took was often a direct reflection of the traveler's own heart. If you were greedy, she might appear as a treasure chest just off the path. If you were lonely, she would be the perfect companion. And if you were full of fear, she would become the very embodiment of your deepest anxieties. Her illusions were designed to expose what lay hidden within a person's soul, their weaknesses, their desires, and most importantly, their courage. Let me tell you about one particular night. A young traveler, weary from a long journey, was making his way through a desolate stretch of wilderness. As dusk settled, the air grew cold, and the shadows seemed to twist and writhe. Suddenly, a figure materialized before him. It was Empusa in her most frightening form, the woman with the mismatched legs of bronze and flame. She loomed over him, her presence radiating an aura of ancient, terrifying power. Any other person would have fled, their heart pounding with primal fear. But this young man was different. He didn't scream, he didn't run, he stood his ground. He looked at the strange being before him, not with terror, but with a steady, respectful curiosity. He didn't draw a weapon or shout a curse. Instead, he spoke to her calmly, his voice even and unafraid. He acknowledged her power, but treated her not as a monster to be slain, but as a being to be understood. Seeing his unwavering courage and his respectful demeanor, something shifted. The frightening illusion wavered and dissolved like smoke. The monstrous form with its bronze and fire legs faded away. In her place stood a majestic, powerful figure, not a creature of horror, but a solemn guardian. Empusa revealed her true self. She hadn't intended to harm him. She had been testing him. Because he had passed her test, she did not become his predator. She became his protector. Empusa guided the brave traveler through the treacherous darkness, shielding him from the real dangers that lurked in the night bandits, wild animals, and treacherous cliffs. He reached his destination safely, all because he chose courage over fear. The legend of Empusa teaches us a profound and simple truth. Sometimes the things that scare us the most are not real threats. They are tests. They are our own fears, our own insecurities, given form. Whether it's a new challenge, a difficult conversation, or a step into the unknown, that feeling of dread can feel just as real as a monster on a dark road. But like the young traveler, we have a choice. We can run from it, letting our fear control us, or we can face it with courage, with respect, and with an open heart. More often than not, when we do, we find that the monster was never really there. It was just a shadow, an illusion. And by passing the test, we don't just survive, we grow stronger, and we find our own way through the darkness. So the next time you feel that chill of fear, remember the story of Empusa. Ask yourself, is this a true danger or is it a test? Because courage is the key that unlocks the path forward. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into mythology, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories from the ancient world. See you next time.